Yo guys, what is up? Slimshaynee Gaming here to bring you a lot of intel on Infinite Warfare Zombies, everything that you really need to know. So by the end of this video, you should basically know about everything. So anyways, let us get straight into this. So what they have here is a door opening system, and what's different about this door opening system for Infinite Warfare Zombies is that you're actually able to share points to open the door. So if two people had 150 points and somebody had the rest of the points that you need, everybody can chip in together and do that. In this picture, as you can see here, it looks like some type of portal right behind them that may be a teleporter or maybe a part of the Easter egg, I'm not too sure. And as you can see, there was a weapon that looked like it came straight from Ghostbusters, which is kind of crazy. Maybe there's like an ice weapon, so maybe that's like an upgraded version. We're not 100% sure on that part, but there is definitely going to be a pack-a-punch, which I'll talk about later in the video. But as you see here, here's another picture right here. It gives you more of a glimpse of the portal. Maybe, like I said, maybe it will teleport you, but we'll definitely find out when the map comes out. So what we can see here is that there is definitely traps in this. Most of the rides in this map will have traps. So as you can see, here's one of them. As you can see, it's a ride that basically goes off in circles and basically just hits the zombies and makes them go flying. Now here's a picture of the MK14 coming back, and it's cool camo, as you can see right there. On the bottom left you can see paint job. I'm not too sure what that is right there, but as you can see, you're on a little roller coaster and you're able to shoot targets and you're able to shoot zombies, which is really cool. So what we can see from this picture right here is that it looks like some type of monkey bomb kind of remake, where it's like a jukebox where zombies will come up to it and dance, and then they would just flat out explode. And then basically that'll play as the monkey bomb. From how Trailer Zombies does that. But here is one of the characters right here, Andre. He talked to the developers for the Infinite Warfare Zombies live stream. And here is the nerd, Poindexter. He seems like a cool character. He's probably my favorite because basically how you know, all the 80s clothing he has on. It's kind of funny. Here is one of our other characters, Sally. I think they said she's like the roller scooter girl, but that will be the girl character within this map. And here is probably my favorite, actually, other than the other character. This is probably my most favorite character, AJ, because he seems pretty funny as a character. You'll definitely hear him throughout the trailer. So from this picture that we can see here is that you can actually use melee weapons in this. So as you can see right there, he's using some brass knuckles. And then in the very next picture, you'll see that you can shoot some kind of like green sound wave, which is really cool. Kind of reminds me of the Thunder Fists from Origins from Black Ops 2. And you can see some kind of money symbol. Now, I don't know if that's coming from when you shoot the zombies and the money comes towards you and maybe gives you, you know, your points. Or that could just be a power-up, maybe kind of like blood money. Not really too sure. But from this picture that we can see here is another trap, and it looks like it's in the arcade on the disco floor, because as you can see, there's a disco ball and there's just laser beams shooting out everywhere, and that's really cool, seeing how it just goes all in circles and, you know, makes the zombies go on fire. But here's another big trap right here. Here's a close-up view of it. It's kind of like a dinosaur mouth. Basically, it'll close in on the zombies once you walk by it. So as you can see, here's the characters running straight around it or through it, and then the zombies will come by and they would just get completely squashed. What I really like about this map is just all the traps. Basically, they really did a good job really creating all the traps for this. But here's the ice weapon right here. I forgot what the weapon is, but you'll definitely know the name if you watch the live stream. And here's another picture right here. It looks like a ball zombie in the back. That's why I took this little photo right here, because there's like some ginormous zombie in the back shooting a laser from his head. Kind of reminds me of Austin Powers Goldmember, if you watch that movie, where they mention the sharks with laser beams attached to their heads. But you'll probably know if you've seen that movie. But here's a cool picture of one of the traps right here that sucks zombies up in. I'll show you another picture later on, more of an overview of that trap. And from the looks of it right here, it looks like a ray gun. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it's Infinity Ward's take on how a ray gun is. But they said that it will, when you shoot a zombie, his legs will basically pop off, and he'll just rocket straight up into the air, which I'll show you guys in a second. And as you can see from this picture right here too, is the girl holding the weapon right there. So maybe that will maybe that's another way that I can conclude that that's what the weapon does. But they did say there was a weapon that does that. Then maybe the weapon right there. But here what we can see is another ball zombie, which is really crazy. He seems like the big football player that will basically kind of play as a tank from what the looks of it from Left 4 Dead. If you ever played that game, that's kind of what this seems like to me. But as you can see here, here is the one and only 80s icon. Really cool to see him in this game because you just see him like dancing along. They said that he will take a part in the Easter egg, so we'll definitely see when that happens along. I think he might play as like a Shadow Man type of character within the game. But usually what this storyline is all about is basically you go to this Willer Wyler production, these 4 characters, and basically they're just sitting down trying to do this acting job. And then basically what Wyler does before they start is show them one of his films. Now when he shows them one of these films, these characters get sucked in, and they're basically, you know, as you can see right here, here's a picture where they would be at within the game, and they would get sucked in and turn into these characters within the 80s, and they have to get out live with Hasselhoff, and he said he'll try to get out with you, so we'll see how that all plays out within the game. So here's another big picture right here, that kind of Ghostbusters type of weapon. I think that's going to be a really good weapon to use within the game. It seems like there's a lot of minigun type of looking weapons in this. But as you can see, there's a weapon right there that the nerd is using. It kind of looks like it came straight from the trailer for when Infinite Warfare was first coming out. It's kind of confusing how they said Infinite Warfare and Infinity War, and oh my god, I always had mistakes with that. But here's the roller coaster right there that you'll be getting on. As you can see from the picture earlier, you would use in the MK14. Now here's a big overview picture that I was telling you guys about of one of the other traps that sucks them in. And that one's probably going to be one of my favorite traps, and that's just really cool. So here's actually real gameplay right here. As you see, there's a weapon called the Hailstorm for 500 points. So that'll probably be one of the weapons that you get in the starting room right here, as you can see. And there's actually a tutorial mode. So in this tutorial mode, it'll help people that don't usually play as much zombies, and this will kind of help them get started. So that's what I like about this game a lot, is that it kind of helps you get started, and it helps a lot of beginners and helps a lot of people that are really interested with the game, and it has a lot of shareability. So that's what I really like about this, but I'll explain about that later on too. But as you see, there's just some pop-ups on the screen and all that. And in this picture, here's another photo of the gameplay. On the bottom left is the character. There's tickets that you use to buy later on that you can get from playing the arcade games. And on the bottom right, you can see that there's a devil and some cards. Those will play as the Gobblegum system within Infinite Warfare Zombies, which is really cool. And it kind of looks like a Glock from the looks of things that you're holding right there. But as you can see, they're just giving you more examples of some tutorial steps throughout the game. And it's really cool to see some gameplay this early. If you want to see actually, the real live kind of gameplay, you can check out Infinite Warfare Zombies live stream if you haven't checked that out. But here's another picture right here of the ice weapon, basically in first person, so that's actually really nice to see. And you can see one of the characters to the farther side over there. But here's the mystery box, basically the weapon wheel, and you can see that you had like a honey badger. But I'm going to cycle through a couple weapons right here that you'll definitely see that'll just keep coming by, and some of them look really, really cool, such as one that looks like a TAC-19 and KSG, and basically the intervention, which was really cool to see, and basically a few other weapons that it will be cycling through here. But I also wanted to talk about that there is going to be a bank kind of shareability money system where you can share money with your friends. Now I don't know if it'll transfer from game to game, but another thing I want to point out to you right here is the hatchet that you'll see right there in the Spaz 12, because they're really cool weapons to see that are coming back. But for the bank kind of gameplay, usually what you will do is people will put their money in, and when you put your money in, people will be able to, you'll be able to share points with your friends from doing like that. So that's really cool to see. It kind of reminds me of like Black Ops 2 on how you would use your money, but they kind of changed that up a little bit, which is really cool. So here's a couple of couple other weapons that we're cycling through. As you've seen, we had a P90 looking weapon, so we'll be definitely getting some submachine guns and everything. And another cool thing is that weapon XP from multiplayer will carry over to zombies. So let's say if you want to play a lot of multiplayer and you wanted to play some zombies and try to level up your weapon, you wouldn't have to, because you can already transfer the points onto that game. So basically we have weapon kits kind of confirmed in this game, which is really, really sick, which is something that I really like. And as you can see, here's a few weapons that are like really cool, and weapons that we don't really know about too much, but we'll definitely know about them soon in the future. But it was really cool hearing about the game when it was first coming out, how they were gonna try to hybrid some weapons. But here's another gameplay right here, the Lost and Found. So when you die, you have to pay 2,000 points in order to get your weapons back. And on the bottom right, as you can see, your cards are filled. And what's cool about the cards is that you can use them all at once. So I'm going to show you another picture right here. There's going to be another weapon that you are able to buy for 500 points. And it looks like some type of perk in the far back over there. So usually the perks in the game too, they'll be kind of like candy machines, I believe. That's what they've been saying. that when you eat candy, basically it's kind of like drinking a perk from from Treyarch Zombies. But as you can see right here, you would claim your weapons right here. It's a couple couple of the weapon names that you'll see. There's like a 9mm that one of the actors was talking about throughout this gameplay right here. And a little bit further, you'll see some kind of fragment on the bottom left next to the character. And in the next picture, you'll see that's a little bit more, it kind of changes. So I don't know if that's going to be a part related to the Easter egg. Another cool thing is one of the weapons right here that you get to see in first-person gameplay. And on the bottom right too, you'll see it kind of looks like a throwing knife next to the grenade. I don't know if they'll actually have throwing knives. Maybe that's going to be some type of other thing. Well, not too sure about that. But in this little shaded picture, you see a little green little mist right there. The green little mist, I think that's like some kind of power up. Kind of looks like insta-kill, but we'll definitely find out soon. Another thing I want to talk about right here is one of the new pistols that you can definitely see. That's possibly the 9mm. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that is one of the new pistols that looks really cool. But here's the Gobblegum system where you put in 10,000 points or dollars to get all your cards, and basically, like I said, you can use them all at once. On the top right, you can see Scene 8. Usually Scene 8 will play as rounds, so it'll be round 8 in a way. And another cool thing that I want to mention is that you will be actually able to play the arcade games when you are alive and even when you die. So you are able to play these games whenever, so you're always interacting with the game, which is something that's really, really cool and exciting and something that's kind of new to the game. So as you see, I'll show you guys a couple of the arcade machines that you will be able to play. There's like one of them where you are able to shoot some targets, which is really cool. And like I said, that you were able to shoot targets on the roller coaster, which is something that was also really cool. So as you see, here's a couple of the Activision arcade games that you'll be able to play, which are really, really cool looking. There's like Pitfall 2, and I think a couple other ones that you might remember. And here's one of the first-person arcade games that you'll be able to play, be able to shoot some stuff. But here's some questions that they have right here that they had to answer, but I'll answer them for you guys. So we'll have a ton of Easter eggs. They said there'll be a whole ton of Easter eggs for the hardcore players that will want to see if there's anything secretive about the game. And of course there's going to be many because they want to get a lot of people into it and keep playing it. So here's another one that they have here. Can we expect some sort of weapon upgrade to further enhance our weapons, such as Pack-a-Punch? And they said definitely, but they're not giving us the location and they're not showing us what it looks like. So that'll be for when we get further to the release of Infinite Warfare. So for the next question that they have going off for right here is, what type of system will the zombies have? Round-based or challenge-based, similar to Extinction? And of course, as you've seen from earlier, it's going to be round-based. So like it says, it's going to be from scenes. So it'll be like scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then further on from that. And they said this is going to be more of an easy map, so it's going to be more open space for beginner players. So a lot of people will love to play this map, and they'll probably be pretty good at it to get a good start on it. But here it says, what's the biggest change in gameplay to Infinity Ward's take on zombies? And that's a lot of shareability and a lot of the beginner experiences for many people that want to get into zombies. So that's what I like about mostly when it comes down to that. So for one of the other questions that they have here is, can the zombie mode be completed on solo? And they said definitely. You are able to complete this from solo all the way to 4 players. So if you're ever playing on by yourself, you can definitely complete it. And like I said, it'll definitely be easy for solo players because it's going to be more open spaced, so you can do a lot of training. And they even said training within the video and the live stream. So that's really cool to see that there is going to be training. So here's one of the last questions. Are there any zombie specific reasons to pre-order? And I'll definitely show you guys here in a second what you get from pre-ordering. So usually what you'll be getting is a cool camo, and I have to say it looks pretty cool. It's not like a glowing type of camo, but it looks pretty cool. You also get a card deck, which is kind of like Gobblegums, and there's an animated calling card for you guys, so you guys will be able to use that in multiplayer. Now I don't know if you'll be able to see your calling cards and everything like that in zombies like you originally see in Black Ops 3, but you will be able to get weapon kits and customize your camos and everything in zombies, which is really, really awesome. So that's an overview for the video and basically everything that's going on. It's basically a whole new storyline, a lot of different gameplay and a lot of shareability, and a really good game mode for people to get into zombies. So they might get into other Treyarch zombies and basically everything else. This is a really good start for people that want to get into it. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like the video and subscribe today if you have not. But anyways, have a great one and peace.